Mary Magdalene revealed the silent prayer that opens the monad portal. Mary Magdalene spoke of a secret only whispered among those prepared to cross the threshold between the visible world and the inner realm. Jesus called the monad. Before anything else, understand this. The prayer she revealed is not spoken with the mouth but shaped in the quiet chamber of the soul. As you watch these first moments, a strange recognition may awaken inside you, as if something ancient and familiar is calling through the veil. Mary taught that those who feel this pull were marked long before birth, chosen to perceive the thin cracks in the world where divine light seeps through. She described the monad as a still center beyond fear. Beyond the seer, beyond the noise that binds humanity to the lower realms. And she said the silent prayer is the key, a vibration woven into the heart rather than the tongue. Tonight, you will hear the same teaching she once whispered to her closest companions, a teaching lost, hidden, and repeatedly erased, but it survived in fragments of memory, carried by those who refused to let the light die. If your soul trembles now, Mary said it is because the monad is already opening its eye toward you. Stay. This message found you for a reason. Mary explained that the world distracts the chosen with endless noise, making them believe the sacred is distant, unreachable, or locked behind rituals belonging only to saints and prophets. But she insisted that Jesus never taught exclusivity. Rather, he revealed access to a divine center living within each soul. The danger, she warned, is that humanity has forgotten to listen. The silent prayer opens the monad, not by asking, but by remembering. Mary taught that before you were born, your soul stood in the brightness of the monad, receiving a single tone-an imprint that would guide you back when the time was right. Most people lose the memory. A few feel it tugging at the edges of their awareness, but never understand what it is. Only the chosen recognize it when it begins to stir. And when that stirring begins, the archons grow restless. For nothing threatens their dominion more than a human awakening to their original light. The silent prayer becomes a shield, a bridge, a call home. Mary said that the moment one enters the vibration of this prayer, the chains of illusion weaken. If your heart is softening now, you're already stepping toward the threshold. The monad waits patiently always, patient with a love that cannot be erased. Jesus taught Mary that the monad is less a place and more a return to the condition of purity that existed before form, before separation, before the world fractured into countless reflections. Those who approach the monad must shed the weight of borrowed thoughts, fears not born within them, and desires planted by the lower realms. Mary explained that the silent prayer works because it bypasses the mind entirely. It is not spoken aloud, not imagined, not constructed through language. Instead, it emerges as a gentle inward turning, like a soul remembering its true posture. She said that when one practices the silent prayer correctly, a warmth grows behind the sternum, subtle at first, then unmistakable. This warmth is not emotion, it is recognition. Jesus described it as the first ripple of the monad touching the edges of your consciousness. Many mistake this feeling for intuition or coincidence, but the chosen know it as a summons. Mary insisted that the silent prayer should never be forced. It is activated through sincerity, not technique. The world teaches people to clench, to strive, to push their way toward goals. The monad teaches surrender. When the prayer emerges naturally, without expectation, it aligns the soul with a primordial harmony Jesus revealed to his closest disciples. Mary Magdalene preserved a teaching Jesus gave only to a few. The monad responds not to volume, not to repetition, but to alignment. She said the silent prayer is like striking a tuning fork inside the chest. When the note is true, the monad resonates in return. When the note is false, nothing happens. This is why many wandered for years seeking signs, never realizing the key was within their own inner silence. Mary revealed that the prayer begins with the slowing of the breath until it feels almost suspended. In that suspension, the soul approaches a threshold between worlds. Then comes the moment when the mind quiets just enough for a deeper awareness to rise. The silent prayer unfurls in this stillness, like a blossoming flame, not spoken, not imagined, simply known. Those who master this state report feeling a presence enter the room, ancient yet familiar, firm yet impossibly gentle. Mary called it the hand of the monad. Jesus warned that those who ignore this presence eventually drift back into the dense fog of the lower realms, losing the clarity they briefly touched. But those who welcome it begin a journey that reshapes everything they once believed about reality, purpose, and their own divine origin. As Mary continued her teaching, she explained that entering the monad is not instantaneous. It is a gradual unfolding, like stepping deeper into a river whose current grows stronger with each breath. The silent prayer is the first step, the opening of the inner door, but the chosen must continue walking. She said the prayer awakens an ancient memory, a recognition that transcends words or earthly teachings. Jesus revealed that the archons, fearing this awakening, attempt to disrupt the moment the prayer begins by stirring anxiety, doubt, or sudden distractions. They understand that once a human tastes even a drop of monad light, their influence weakens forever. Mary reassured her students that such resistance is proof of progress, not failure. She urged them to hold the inner stillness gently, without force, until the disturbance passes. Then, the prayer deepens on its own, drawing the soul closer to the source from which all true power originates. The chosen often report vivid dreams during this phase, symbols, figures, and landscapes that feel more real than waking life. Mary said these dreams are echoes of the monad, guiding the seeker along the path Jesus carved through the unseen realms. Mary described the next stage of the silent prayer as a transformation in perception. Colors may appear richer, sounds more layered, and emotions more transparent. This is not imagination. It is the lifting of a veil. Jesus taught that the monad reveals itself first by sharpening a person's ability to perceive truth. Lies become heavy. False desires lose flavor. Noise becomes intolerable. Mary explained that this stage is where many turn back, afraid of losing the familiar comforts that kept them asleep. But those who continue find a new strength rising within. The silent prayer becomes a constant companion, not a ritual, but a state of being. Jesus said, the chosen would know they reached this stage when the world around them begins to feel both deeply connected and strangely dreamlike, as if they are walking inside two realities at once. Mary reminded her students not to fear this shift. It is a sign that the monad is drawing nearer. The chosen must trust the unfolding process and allow the prayer to deepen until it becomes the very rhythm of their inner life. As Jesus revealed to Mary, the silent prayer eventually opens what he called the inner ear, the ability to hear guidance, not through sound but through knowing. Mary taught that this inner guidance is the monad speaking directly to the soul, bypassing all earthly intermediaries. The chosen often describe it as an immediate clarity, a sense of direction that feels absolute, yet impossibly gentle. At this stage, the archons attempt subtler tactics, planting false certainties, or emotional distortions. Mary warned her students that discernment becomes essential. True guidance brings peace, even when difficult. False guidance brings urgency, fear, or confusion. Jesus insisted that the monad's voice never rushes. It waits. It invites, and it always leads toward harmony rather than fragmentation. Marie said the more one listens, the stronger the connection becomes, until the silent prayer is no longer an action but a sanctuary. In this sanctuary, the chosen begin to understand their purpose beyond earthly narratives. They remember why they came. They remember the covenant made before birth. Mary revealed that as the silent prayer matures, the chosen experience a profound simplification of the inner world. Desires fall away. Old wounds lose their sting. Even ambitions once held tightly begin to dissolve. Jesus taught that this purification is not loss, but restoration. It clears the space in which the monad's light can fully settle. Mary compared it to a vessel being emptied so that it can be filled with living water. Those who resist this phase often experience turmoil. Those who surrender experience liberation. The silent prayer becomes a steady flame that illuminates forgotten corridors of the soul, revealing patterns inherited from generations of wounded humanity. As these patterns are seen, they dissolve, freeing the chosen to step into a higher identity. Mary explained that this phase is crucial, for the monad cannot merge with a divided or fragmented consciousness. The chosen must become whole. Only then can the final stages unfold, stages where the distinction between the seeker and the source begins to blur. Jesus told Mary that the final opening of the monad portal begins with a moment of profound stillness, as if the entire inner world pauses to listen. During this moment, the silent prayer becomes a radiant pulse that expands beyond the body, stretching into dimensions without form. Mary described this expansion as the soul remembering its original magnitude. Those who reach this stage often report a sensation of dissolving boundaries, as if they are merging with a vast, luminous field. Mary assured her students that this experience is safe. It is the soul returning to its birthplace. The archons cannot follow here. Their power ends at the threshold of divine unity. Jesus said that once a person enters this field even for a breath, they carry its imprint for the rest of their earthly life. The silent prayer becomes effortless, arising naturally the moment the heart turns inward. Guidance flows more readily. Love becomes instinctive rather than aspirational, and the chosen begin to walk with an authority born not from ego but from remembrance. Mary concluded her teaching by explaining that the purpose of the silent prayer is not escape but transformation. Jesus never taught his followers to abandon the world. He taught them to illuminate it from within. Those who open the monad portal become carriers of a higher resonance that affects everything around them: relationships, conversations, choices, and even the unseen atmosphere of their presence. Mary emphasized that the journey is ongoing. The monad is infinite, and each encounter deepens the soul's alignment with its eternal source. The silent prayer becomes a lifelong companion, an anchor through every challenge and every victory. As you reach the end of this message, understand this truth. You were not drawn here by accident. The same force that guided Mary, the same presence that taught Jesus, is now whispering to you. The monad has opened a doorway. Step through it with courage, with humility, and with the quiet certainty that you are returning home. And remember, this is only the beginning. If this message stirred something inside you, share it, save it, and return tonight to practice the silent prayer. Your journey into the monad begins now.